Hair today, gone tomorrow, not on my watch. Welcome back to Bargain Brand Wellness, where self-care is on clearance and confidence comes with a hairline. We're diving into the hairy truth about hair loss, the treatments that claim to stop it, and the awkward phase where your scalp looks like it's buffering. Grab a seat, your preferred beverage of choice, and get comfortable. Welcome to Wellness. Welcome back to another terrific Tuesday evening stream. This is our second week in a row doing a Tuesday stream. Unfortunately, I just maintain some consistency, but hey, kiddos got their stuff they got to do. So here we are. This is our wellness trend episode. As you probably saw in some of the comments or some of the descriptions, we're talking about hair loss treatments to help combat male pattern baldness, which is a pretty big common across the world, but hey, we're going to get into that shortly. While we're waiting for people to pop in, let's get some background music going for y'all, courtesy of the Relax Movement YouTube channel, a channel that has numerous videos of about 12 hours long of copyright-free music. Very vibing playlist. Definitely enjoy it. We like to have it in the background as we're streaming. Just kind of fill some of the void, fill some of the silence. But, yeah, we're happy to have y'all. Welcome back, my wellness warriors, my self-care connoisseurs, my students of wellness. We're gonna have a good show. I know it. I can feel it. I can feel it in my soul. We're over here vibing. We're live on YouTube at Bargain Brand Wellness. We're also live over on Twitch at BBW_live. And we're live on TikTok under my personal account at Offbrand Tim. Feel free to check us out on any of those. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow or subscribe. Right, if you're enjoying what you're seeing. I hope you are. We're over here having a grand old time. We're not really getting much love over on Twitch, so I think we're gonna be checking out Kick at some point in the near future. I didn't get a chance to over the weekend. I was building a fire pit and doing a couple other things around the house, so we didn't get into that. But we are gonna be checking it out within the next week or two. See what's over there. See if we can get any extra viewership over there. As our goal is to grow as much as we can. We kind of set a goal of like to get no less than 100 subscribers over here on YouTube, and if possible, like to hit that 1,000 follower goal there on TikTok. Under my personal account, we also have a Bargain Brand Wellness TikTok page. Wouldn't mind getting a follower count up on that as well. Currently, in the meantime, we'll keep streaming live on my personal TikTok account. We'll see what happens. That it may be easier just to kind of stick over on that one because that's where primarily my followers are. But we do still have multiple. We still do have multiple pages. We aren't live on Facebook any longer. There was an issue going on with the chat, but we do have a Facebook group over there titled Bargain Brand Wellness. You can feel free to join over there. I try to keep everyone updated on what we got going on. So feel free to jump over there. No request needed. Just join, and we'll do our best to keep you updated over there. We're gonna have a good show this evening. We're still vibing. We're still trying to figure out some things. Currently, we're still streaming live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are considering. I'm going to take the night to think about it. We might. I don't know. It's a tough decision to make. I want to see kind of how tonight's video goes as far as growth, to see who we get on here. What we're considering in the interim, maybe only streaming once a week. Having a nice quality video that we can pull multiple videos on YouTube on to start to kind of build up our following. And honestly, the only reason we're kind of even really considering that right now is just writing these episodes is really time consuming. I don't know that I quite have all that time to write 3 episodes worth. You figure for an hour and a half show, it can take me anywhere from 2 to 3 hours to write each episode. Doing that 3 times a week, that ends up being a part-time job that I'm not getting paid for right now. So we're going to consider maybe once a week, but I don't know, we'll see. If nothing else, it'll be quality, and my thought was maybe if we only do once a week, all the people who maybe want to join us, maybe they'll be able to. So we'll see. But while we're waiting, right, before we get into our first part of our segment here, off-brand affirmation for you. I'm not defined by my hairline, but I do reserve the right to emotionally spiral every time I see a shower drain full of my dreams. My roots may retreat, but my confidence grows forward. And listen, hair loss is a totally natural process that everybody goes through, just some is worse than others, right? And some people, after they lose it, it does not grow back. Or if it does, it's a slow process, a very slow process. So we're thinking maybe only streaming once a week. I don't know. I really don't want to do that. But writing 3 episodes, it's because it's just me. I don't have any help. Writing 3 episodes every week, it's time consuming, and I took the summer off of college to kind of focus a little bit more on this over the summer. Plus I was tired. I was beat. But I'm almost thinking, if we can maybe put a little bit more quality into one solid episode every week, maybe that's a good starting point. And then maybe slowly build. If nothing else, here's one thing I will say. If we do, in fact, go to one of the current version of what you see as one of our episodes, I am definitely considering. We already talked about it before, but I am considering on pushing and moving forward with bringing on guests to the show. That part might not be live. It might just be recorded. Might be kind of Joe Rogan style or other podcasters you see where just me and that other person talking about anything and everything wellness, just talking to that person. We could do it live, but that person won't really be able to interact with the chat. So even if we did do it live, it wouldn't be a chat. It wouldn't be an interactive episode. You could just see it live right then and there. So yeah, we if we do stream once a week, we are going to push forward with that, I think. Whether, like I said, whether it'll be live or not, that'll be to come. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what kind of engagement we get, see how many people are interested in maybe joining the show, because I figure that can actually really help us. Right. And we're, especially here in the beginning, we're not going to be very stingy. I plan on bringing anybody and everybody who wants to talk about anything and everything wellness. I'd like to keep it as much wellness related as possible, but I just want to bring people in here and have a good time. So one more thing for you before we get into our first segment here. A quick fire wellness query. If caffeine shampoo wakes up your scalp, does that mean decaf conditioner puts it to sleep? And if so, should I be whispering while I'm rinsing? Thoughtful question. I've heard about people putting coffee in their hair, stimulate. So many different hacks out there that people try. Unfortunately, most of them don't work. I haven't tried that one. I've tried a few different things. I have tried rosemary oil, but I'll be honest, I haven't been trying it consistently lately. So I can't really offer too much on that. But I definitely would like to try it a little bit more. But yeah. So if you're a first time watcher over here on whatever your preferred platform is, click the like, click the share, subscribe or follow, right? And hopefully you enjoy the content. We're still a relatively new channel. We're not even 2 months in. We're over here having a good time and living life as much as we can, as best as we can. I say we go ahead and get into our first topic, and then we'll see kind of what's going on as we're after we finish recording that part. Let's get into this. Tell you what, let's just because it's hair related, take my hat off for this part. How's my hair look? Wonderful. Tell me about it. Let's talk about the comeback no one saw coming. My hairline. I've been using the Keeps hair loss treatment for 3 years now, and let's just say my hair is the thickest it's been in years. This was me 3 years ago. I'd been thinning for several years, but decided that I wasn't quite ready to go full nude on the top of my head. Not only was my hairline receding, so was my ego. Introduce Keeps, a subscription-based telehealth service offering FDA-approved treatments for male pattern baldness. After a short consult that requires you to answer a few questions and take a few snapshots of your lacking locks, your treatments are delivered to your door within a few days. Keeps has plans that are available for 3, 6, or even 12 months. So let's talk about hair loss effects. About 80 million Americans, 50 million men, and 30 million women are affected by this. 2/3 of men by age 35, 85% of men by age 50, and 50% of women experience noticeable hair thinning by the age of 50. And yet, no one wants to talk about it unless they're selling you something or making a joke about your uncle's comb over. Hair loss isn't just a follicle issue, it's a feelings issue. And in case you're wondering how big the business of balding is, the global hair loss treatment market was valued at over $4 billion in 2023 and is expected to grow even more in the next 5 years. That's a lot of dollars chasing a few missing strands. Hair is tied to identity. You're not just losing strands, you're losing confidence. For many, it's like grief, in that you feel as if you're losing a part of yourself. That panic, it's profitable. Hair loss companies thrive on urgency. They don't say, slow down the process. They say, save what you have before it's too late. That's not science. That's FOMO marketing with a scalp massage. The hair loss industry is overwhelmingly marketed to men, but women face it too, often in silence. And because we treat male baldness as a punchline and female hair loss as a secret, the shame runs deep for both. Consumers spend hundreds, even thousands of dollars on pills, foam, laser helmets, scalp tattoos, and more, desperate for results. Add in monthly subscriptions and that set it and forget it mentality, and suddenly you've got a gold mine built on growing fear and shrinking follicles. Air mic drop. We did that thing. We really did. We did it. We did it. We did it. I see we've had 10 viewers pop in and out, but our live goal is still sitting at 0. I don't quite know how that goes up. The new feature we've tried over on TikTok, so we'll I don't know. We'll see. Put our hat back on. So as many of you can see, right? If you're checking this out live or if you're watching this later, I'm going to get into it a little bit deeper, talking about Keeps. I've been using it since 2022. So I've been using it for just over 3 years. And you can see the results. If you compared to my hair to those previous photos, you can definitely tell where it's definitely a lot thicker. But you can also see this. I don't have any current pictures or any pictures on me currently from when I was, in my teens or early 20s. You can definitely see the difference here. It's thicker here. You're limited on what you can get away with, but I am enjoying what I still have while I still have it. I'm really hoping we can get a couple people in here shortly, because I have a couple surprises for people that I hadn't really shared. It'll be fun. Let's just leave it at this. We're bringing over some of our content that we used on the Brothers Chatter, maybe some of our topics. We're bringing them over to Bargain Brand Wellness. A lot of the ideas behind some of these topics were really well done. I mean, they're very, it's easily easily recurring content that we can use on here and still have fun with it. When I say content, I'm talking about, different types of segments, right? So some of you who watched our Brothers Chat, remember we would do game night, or we do Let's Talk About Sex, or we had our Dear Brothers advice column section. Any of our viewers who watched that, I put a lot of time into some of those. So we're going to bring some of that over here. And I figured, if nothing else, it's another way to kind of make the show a little bit longer, maybe engage with the people on the live a little bit more and have fun with it. Plus, I figure we can also make some short form content out of that. So we're going to be recording those little pieces as well. I figured the plan is, if we are going to stream one episode per week, have enough really kind of short form content so that we can have multiple things between TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Reels, as well as videos on YouTube, really start to kind of build our brand and really start to get some viewers in here. That way, when we are live, we do have people to engage with. Now, obviously, within the limits of this show, if we do start getting a good many people in here, I can't interact with every single chat, obviously. But I do my, I definitely will, as long as I can. If we actually get to that point where we're growing like that, then, we'll adjust as needed. We'll just kind of read random chats of people, or if we ever get to that point, super chats that they use on YouTube. I don't know how Twitch works. Like I said, I don't know how much longer we're going to be over on Twitch. Anyway, we're not really seeing any growth over there, so we're going to probably check out Kick over the next week. But by only having one episode every week, that gives me a chance to really put some good quality content into this. So those who do come over and watch feel like they can really enjoy the show. I know those of you who have been watching said you enjoy it, and I do appreciate all the love and support. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. So please continue to give that love and support, and we'll keep doing this thing. So before we get into our first kind of recurring segment, right? And not every episode is going to have the same stuff. There's going to mix and match of different things that I come up with just to throw in the show. Let's get into some off-brand hacks, right? May or may not be wellness related. If you can't afford fancy scalp massagers, use a soft bristle toothbrush to stimulate blood flow while you shower. Bonus, it doubles as a stress relief fidget for your head. Sounds pretty intriguing if you ask me. I don't know. I'd be worried about where I might put that toothbrush. I forget I didn't put it in my mouth. Ugh. Might help with dandruff though. You ever use one of those little scalp exfoliator things? I love those things. Like, it has a little point. They're silicone. They don't hurt. I love using on my head. I don't know if they actually work, but it feels like it's really exfoliating my skin and maybe removing any dandruff that I might have. I don't know if they actually work, but it was $7. I've had the thing for 3 or 4 years, so I look at it this way. At least I won't have to buy multiple of them. If you like that one, here's another one for you. You ever try inversion rinsing? Massaging your scalp while bending forward? Some say it boosts circulation. Worst case scenario, you stretch your hamstrings and accidentally develop a new yoga pose called downward regrowth. Speaking of yoga, I've been talking a lot about yoga over the last year or so. And that's all it's been at talk, and I need to buckle up and start getting into it. I do enjoy yoga. About 2 years ago, I started practicing yoga here at home. But I've always been one of those people who I really struggle to work out at home or do any type of physical activity like that. I need to have the right space, right aura, which I know is kind of an excuse. I'm not going to lie to you, but that's what keeps me motivated. That's why I go to the gym to work out. I could easily build a room and put a personal gym in there, but I need to be somewhere. So same process as I'm really trying to find a yoga class to go to, someone to kind of lead me through, help with my flexibility as I start to get a little bit older. Right. There is a local place called SB Yoga. I looked them up online. I think it's just one lady who just runs it. And if I'm not mistaken, when I first checked it out, it looked kind of expensive. But I might check it out again. I do have, and so here's another excuse. I do have a membership over at the Y where they do have some yoga classes, but I haven't went yet. I really should make that a priority. We're going to check out this SB Yoga. I don't mind giving money to local businesses. The Y it's nice. It's reliable, but I just haven't went there either. Leave a comment in the chat, or if you're watching this later, in our feed, BBW Would You Rather edition. Would you rather use mayonnaise as your only hair conditioner for the rest of your life, or have to explain that your hair is real every time someone compliments it, even though no one claimed that it was fake? I don't know about that one. That'd be a tough one. I definitely don't think I would want mayonnaise as a conditioner, even though I like mayonnaise. I feel like I may not like mayonnaise after that one. I don't know if I would like that smell. I'd really have to rinse really well. I think I would rather explain that my hair is real every time someone compliments it. Oh, I love your hair. I mean, can you imagine that? Wow, I really love your hair. Yeah, it's real. It's real. It's real. I haven't done anything to it. I promise. It's not a wig. Start pulling on it a little bit. Our other one, would you rather keep your ideal hair length, but it's permanently neon green, or keep your ideal style and color, but it grows an inch every time you invalidate someone? I'm going to tell you right now, we're not perfect. You probably invalidate more people than you realize. I'm just letting you know your hair is going to grow. And an inch at a time. Whoo! Haircut every couple days. Every couple days. But we all do it. All right. Well, it is about that time to get into one of our first recurring segments. This one is Dear BBW Advice Column. Right? And here's what we're going to do. I talked about having Nova be solely, sorry, I'm a little tongue tied today. Solely for Wednesdays, considering our viewership has really kind of took up. We're going to do whatever we can. So we are going to bring Nova on for this part. And let's record. Welcome back to our first recurring segment of Dear BBW Advice Column. With us today is our news analyst, Nova. Nova, say hi to the crowd.
Hey everyone, thrilled to be here and ready to dish out some off-brand wisdom. Let's dive into the chaos, shall we?
I'm down for it if you are, Nova. So our first column says, Dear BBW, lately I've been in a complicated relationship with my hair. We've been through a lot of breakups, breakdowns, box dye experiments, but recently it's been ghosting me, literally. I think it's leaving me, slowly, strand by strand. Every morning I wake up to a pillowcase that looks like a hamster's been shedding in its sleep. I started using dry shampoo 3 days ago and haven't stopped. I whisper affirmations to my scalp. I exfoliate it more than my face. And I even gave up dairy. Okay, cheese. Okay, fine. I cut back on cheese. Still, my hairline is receding like it's training for a marathon. My question is, am I balding or is my hair just setting boundaries? Please advise. Sincerely, emotionally attached to my edges.
All right, emotionally attached to my edges, let's break it down. First off, your hair might just be going through its own self care phase, where it takes a little personal space. After all, even follicles need boundaries, right? On a serious note, hair loss can have a lot of culprits: stress, diet, genetics, or even overenthusiastic box dye experiments. The good news, you're not alone. The better news, there's a ton of ways to slow it down or even reverse it. So, are you balding? Maybe a little, but it's not the end of the follicular world. It might just be your hair's way of saying, hey, let's take it easy on the cheese and the bleach. Keep up those scalp affirmations and maybe consult a pro if it keeps up. Your hair might just need a pep talk and a little professional TLC. And remember, even if your hair is socially distancing from your scalp, you're still fabulous. Stay strong and maybe invest in a good hat collection.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Nova. That was pretty good. So let me ask you this quick question. What's this whole thing with cheese? I mean, is there something about dairy that supposedly leads to hair loss? I've never heard of that one.
Glad you liked it. So, about the cheese and dairy connection, there's some buzz around how high dairy consumption might influence hormone levels, particularly androgens like DHT, which can contribute to hair thinning or loss in some folks. It's not a universal rule, but for some people, reducing dairy can help with inflammation or hormonal imbalances that might affect hair health. But hey, correlation doesn't equal causation. Cutting back on dairy might not be a magic bullet, but it's one of those lifestyle tweaks that some people swear by. At the end of the day, it's all about finding what works for you, and maybe enjoying cheese in moderation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was a new one. I had not heard that before. Yeah, emotionally attached to my edges. All right, the stress that you're experiencing, in my opinion, can only make it worse. So take it, one day at a time. Right, we all lose hair every day. Most people lose probably anywhere from 50 to 100 hairs per day. And I'll be honest with you, part of the aging is that our hair grows back a little bit slower as our hormones change. So, I'm sure that your hair is going to come back in full health, but also keep in mind that, yeah, it's always possible. Are you ready to embrace it?
Exactly. Embracing the journey, whether your hair returns to its former glory or decides to go minimalist, is all part of the process. And hey, confidence is the best look anyway. Just remember to be kind to yourself, laugh off the shedding, and rock whatever style makes you feel unstoppable. After all, it's all about making it worth your wellness, right?
Absolutely, it is. All right, Nova, we got one more. Dear BBW, I've reached a point in my hair journey where I'm no longer sure if I'm moisturizing or just greasing my scalp like a cast iron skillet. I've tried everything: argan oil, jojoba oil, avocado oil, snake oil. Okay, that one was a mistake. I deep condition so often, my shower looks like a tiny science lab. Still, my hair feels drier than my dating life and more unpredictable. The final straw? I caught my own reflection in the window yesterday and thought, why is that woman wearing a haystack? It was me. I was the haystack. My question is, at what point do I stop calling it a protective style and start admitting it's just emotional camouflage? Help me, BBW. I'm spiraling, and so is my twist out. Sincerely, moisturized but mentally matted.
All right, moisturized but mentally matted. Let's unravel this conundrum. First off, if your hair routine has more oils than a gourmet salad dressing, it might be time to reassess. Sometimes too much of a good thing can backfire and actually prevent moisture from getting into your hair shaft, leaving it drier than a stand-up comedian's wit. It sounds like your hair might be overconditioned or in need of a little balance. Sometimes less is more. Try giving your hair a break from the heavy oils and deep conditioning for a bit and focus on a balanced routine: a gentle cleanser, a lightweight leave-in, and a bit of protein treatment to strengthen those strands. Also, consider that your protective style might just need a refresh or a new approach. Sometimes our hair needs a new game plan. And if all else fails, remember that a little frizz or dryness doesn't define you. You're fabulous whether your hair is a lush rainforest or a slightly crispy haystack. So, the moment you feel like your protective style is more of a hide and seek with your true self, it's time to pivot. Experiment with new styles or rock a simpler regimen. And always remember, your hair journey is yours to own, twists, turns, and all.
Yeah, and remember, you can always overdo it with too much of the oil or different conditioners. Everything in moderation is key. I've attempted to use rosemary oil before, as I was sharing just a bit ago, and it's pretty effective. They say that it can definitely stimulate hair growth and is really good for your skin and your scalp, especially if it's diluted with castor oil. But everything in moderation. When I do use it, I use it once or twice a week. Leave it in overnight and then rinse really well in the morning. So yeah, I agree with Nova. You might be overdoing it with the oil.
Exactly. And it's all about finding that sweet spot. A little goes a long way, especially when it comes to oils and conditioners. Your hair will thank you for the balanced approach, and who knows, you might just find the perfect routine that turns that haystack into a crown of glory. Keep experimenting, keep it fun, and most importantly, keep rocking your unique style.
All right. Thanks, Nova. That is our first recurring segment of Dear BBW Advice Column. Check us out next week and see what we got going on for you. Thanks, Nova.
Thanks for having me. Can't wait to dish out more advice next time. Stay well, stay curious, and remember, your edges and your spirit are always worth it.
That they are. All right, Nova, we'll talk to you here shortly. We'll bring you back on. All right. That was a fun little thing. That was cool. I did that before on the Brothers Chatter. I just kind of made up these little fake little news things, like as if you were writing to an advice column. But I would read them to Danny and Ethan and have them respond back to it. They were usually more relationship or, sexual dysfunction related, but these will be a little bit cleaner, more related to the topic. But that was a fun one. Like I said, and we'll probably continue to bring Nova into those conversations. All right, so we're over here having a grand old time. We're having fun, right? Remember, if this is your first time being here, we're live, on YouTube at Bargain Brand Wellness. We're live on Twitch currently over at BBW_live. And we're also live on TikTok at Off-Brand Tim, my personal account. As we mentioned before, feel free to jump over on Facebook and check out our group, Bargain Brand Wellness. Join over there, no requests needed. Become part of our wellness army with our wellness warriors. Hello there, Mother. How are you doing on this terrific Tuesday evening? We're over here live having a grand old time. It's a little quiet over here, not gonna lie, but we're over here having some fun, enjoying life, and getting ready to get into our next segment. Ooh, that was a rough series for the Pirates and Phillies. I mean, it was good for me, but I know it was a little rougher for you. Skeens had a heck of an outing, and you guys lose 1-0 because the offense can't put any runs up. That's rough. Skeens throws a gem and you still lose. But my Phillies they're pulling through. They're doing their thing. They're actually in first place currently at the moment, because the Mets have been a little bit on a losing streak, and the Phillies have been winning. They've won 4 in a row. So happy about that. Let's get our background music back on. Maybe. Turn that back down. I realized I still had Nova turned pretty down on the I had Nova turned down when we first started, so I don't know how well you all could hear her. I turned her up about halfway through, so we'll see on the recording how much. I got to remember to turn her, because the music I have turned down because I don't want it to be too loud. I got to remember when I bring Nova on to turn you all back up so it comes through pretty clean. I used Hair Envy oil Tree tea, soap, and supplements to try and help my hair, but nothing worked. It's such a conundrum. There's so many different things out there they say that you can try. I've never tried any of those, but yeah. My keeps has really been my only thing that's really worked. But it's like I've kind of told everyone, it's something I have to use for the rest of my life. Once I stop, I'll start losing hair again. I'll continue to thin. You know, I'm still pretty young, but you know, I feel like it's gonna go at some point. A lot of guys tell me just embrace the bald. It's freeing. You know, one less thing to worry about, which I get. I just don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to take that step yet. I ended up with a wig and hair covers. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into our next recorded segment. Remember, as we're going through this, I'm not necessarily interacting with chat, but feel free to drop any comments in the chat as we're going through, and we'll talk about when we on the other side of this. The Keeps hair loss treatment markets itself as the modern man's answer to male pattern baldness. No awkward pharmacy runs, no shame-filled doctor's visits, just discreet packaging, online consultations, and 2 FDA-approved medications shipped directly to your door. Finasteride blocks dihydrotestosterone, also known as DHT, the hormone that causes most male hair loss. It typically is taken orally in the form of a pill and is meant to address a receding hairline. Minoxidil, which is a topical solution, increases blood flow to hair follicles to stimulate growth. It's applied to the scalp to encourage hair growth in that region. Here's the honest science. Finasteride lowers DHT levels by about 60% and has been shown to slow or stop hair loss in up to 90% of men. Some even experience regrowth. Minoxidil doesn't stop hair loss, but it can promote regrowth in areas where follicles are still alive. Here's the catch. You must keep using it forever. Stop treatment and your hair loss resumes. Think of it like a Netflix auto renewal for your scalp. Results take up to 3 to 6 months to even start showing up. Most men seek preservation, not a full Chewbacca comeback. Let's talk side effects. Finasteride can cause sexual dysfunction in a small percentage of users, libido changes, erectile dysfunction, and mood swings. Minoxidil can irritate the scalp and cause initial shedding. Yes, losing hair before gaining it back. Trust the process, they say. Use of this product can lead to an itchy scalp, chronic headaches, and acne flare-ups. Great, I get to experience puberty all over again, as if the first time wasn't hard enough. On the bright side, I won't have to deal with a squeaky voice. Cost breakdown? Around $30 to $90 a month, depending on your plan. Longer subscriptions equates to a little savings. It's cheaper than a transplant, but it's still an expense that you need to calculate into your bills. So let's compare Keeps to some of its competitors. Rogaine, which is basically minoxidil, is an over-the-counter topical treatment available at most drugstores. No prescription needed. It's FDA approved for both men and women and comes in foam or liquid form. While convenient and accessible, it doesn't include medical support or personalized treatment plans. Hims, on the other hand, offers a broader telehealth platform for men's wellness, including hair loss, erectile dysfunction, skincare, and mental health. They provide both finasteride and minoxidil, plus extras like biotin gummies and thickening shampoo. It's a good choice if you're looking to bundle hair loss treatment with other men's health products. Air mic drop. Yo, Joseph Twig, you didn't get a notification I was live. I don't know why. That's weird. I don't know how the notifications really come through for Bargain Brand Wellness. We actually started going live a couple minutes early. I think I turned on TikTok about 10 minutes, while we were in the starting soon screen on YouTube. So, yeah. But thanks for being here, buddy. The Phillies and Pirates game should be interesting. I hope so. It was a good series. I mean, I don't think... Yeah, the Phillies even though the Phillies swept the Pirates, all three games were relatively close, especially that last one. And Phillies are still relatively healthy. They have one pitcher who's on the IL 15 days, but hopefully he'll be back soon. Of course, anybody who follows baseball might saw our best reliever, Jose Alvarado, got suspended for 80 games due to a PED violation, performance-enhancing drugs. So he'll be out for a good part of the rest of the year and will not be available for the playoffs. So that's always a good time. Yeah, I'm excited for the series. I'm excited for the game. I haven't scheduled to go in any other games. I might try to go to Philly again. Maybe see someone who I didn't get to see last year. Got to see the Phillies sweep the Dodgers last year. That was nice. Thanks for hitting that live over there, or hitting that like button over there, Joey. Joe Twig, Joe DeBro, Big Deck, Joe, over there building, what'd you say, 16 by 54, something like that deck? It's a big deck there, buddy. A little bit bigger than mine. Haha, yes, sir. Weird wellness facts. Your hair can taste caffeine. All right, not literally, but studies have shown that caffeine applied topically to your scalp can stimulate hair growth by blocking DHT and extending the growth phase. So yes, your follicles technically run on iced coffee as well. I've never tried the whole coffee on your scalp, and that's one trend I have not tried yet. I don't like to waste coffee. I wonder if you use used coffee grounds. That goes back into my whole reduce, reuse, and recycle. There's still caffeine in there, I think. Wouldn't hurt nothing. Another weird wellness fact. You shed around 50 to 100 hairs a day, which is pretty normal. If you find more than that in your shower drain, don't panic. It could be seasonal. Or maybe your hair is just making a dramatic exit. Hair is stronger than you think. Do coffee pouches do the same thing for you as regular coffee? I have not tried coffee pouches yet. Right. I wouldn't mind trying them. I've heard that they taste good. I imagine that it gives you the same amount of caffeine, but I have not tried them. I just like I like regular coffee too much. I'll have to experiment. Maybe I could try. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down. Up to 1,000 likes over there on TikTok. Thanks for getting us there, Joe. Appreciate you, DeBro. Thanks for hitting the like over there, Mom, on YouTube. Appreciate that as well. Our last weird wellness fact of the day. Did you know that human hair is actually stronger than copper wire? Strand for strand, human hair can hold more weight than a piece of copper wire that's the same diameter. So if your ponytail ever feels like it's doing the most, that's because it probably is. No, it is crazy. Real reflection riddles. If our hair grows even when we're not watching, what else in your life is quietly growing because you simply just let it be? For me, my mental health. My mental wellness, we'll say, is growing. Right? When you're focused on it, it feels like it's not moving at all. When you stop focusing on it, all of a sudden a month passed by and you're like, for some reason I feel better. I don't know what it is. It's your wellness. You know, what's that old saying? It's like watching a pot of water boil. Feels like it takes forever. Walk away for 2 minutes and all of a sudden, bam, there's the bubbles. I do the same thing with my herbal tea. I have a little tea kettle out there. If I stand out there waiting for it to start whistling, feels like it takes forever. I walk away and I'm in midway and using the restroom and all of a sudden I hear it going off. Another real reflection riddle. If losing hair is natural, but we grieve it like loss, what else are you mourning that was never meant to stay forever? That's a deep one. Our youth. Our youth. Ooh, that's a real one. I think that is a good one. Like, people mourn, the youthful days when they could just hop up right out of bed, do whatever they felt like. Right now, as we get a little older, it's more of a crawling out of bed or easy. Like, oh shoot, I felt that one. Slept a little wrong. You feel it for the next 2 weeks. I'll be honest, I don't really notice that as much anymore. Mom, you might remember when I used to complain about my back hurting and my neck hurting. If you noticed, you haven't really heard me talk much about that. And I'm going to tell you what the one big difference is since I quit drinking alcohol. So it's done wonders for my mental health, but it's also done wonders for my physical health. I couldn't tell you the last time I had a stiff neck or a sore back. And I don't think it was directly related to the alcohol, but I think maybe having a few drinks, maybe I wasn't sleeping well or how I was moving when I was sleeping. Yeah, really haven't really had to deal with that one much. Bam, 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 bam. Bing, bing. So before, I don't know if you guys saw, I'm pretty sure you guys weren't on yet. We were discussing on here, even though I was talking basically to myself because there was no one really on here. I think we're going to consider, I'm going to kind of take the evening to think about it. I think we might start moving to a once a week stream. I really don't want to do it. You're glad my neck doesn't hurt anymore, alcohol related, though. Maybe more the way you were sleeping. Yeah, I think that's what it was. But indirectly, so it kind of worked out. I don't really want to do it, but we're not really getting a whole lot of love on the live, and I appreciate the support we have been getting, but we haven't really seen any growth. And I know it's still early, but I didn't expect huge growth. But the part of this is it takes me a quite some time to write these episodes and put the effort into it. For an hour to hour and a half show, it easily takes me anywhere from 2 to 3 hours to give a good quality, because it's not just the recordings, it's the kind of filler content in here. And I don't want to just come on live and just talk to chat, because as you can see, there's only 2 people on here. That's not much of a show. I want people to be able to kind of come back in and watch the videos that we post on YouTube afterwards. And I think in order for me to give quality, once a week might be the move. The question is, what day? When we first started back there in April, Monday seemed to be pretty good. Wednesday seemed to be pretty good. Fridays, not so much. We've had a couple okay Fridays, but we've had a lot of Fridays where there's not a whole lot going on. I need to show more chest hair, maybe. I don't have a whole lot of chest hair, I won't lie. I have a lot of hair other places, but not on my chest. Yeah, quality over quantity makes sense. And that's exactly my thought process. Because there was I'll be honest, there's some of the episodes I felt like I was rushing to try to just get something together, and didn't feel like I was putting my best foot forward. And if no one's watching it, what's the point in just making all that content? So I think that might be the move. Thanks for sharing the live, Tyler Broadwater. Thanks for popping on here. We get our regular notification that TikTok Live is detecting inactivity. And I don't know how to stop that, because I've typed in the chat before and it still did it. Thanks for liking that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. We really need to figure out the day. So I thought about Saturdays, but a lot of people do stuff on Saturdays. I was almost thinking Sunday. I can say Sundays for me, I don't always have a lot going on, right? The kids don't typically have games, right? The only thing I ever really have on Sundays is is during football season. I'm watching like Sunday Night Football. We could actually go live before that, right? Or depending on what's going on. I mean, I'm not that concerned if I miss some of the Sunday Night Football games. That's why I'm almost thinking Sundays might be good. And I started thinking like a lot of people, most people work on Monday. I mean, are they really doing anything on Sundays? I'm almost thinking Sunday. I'm going to think about it a little bit more. I know it kind of sucks because I know we were getting some viewers on Facebook, but we weren't seeing their chats. And it didn't really make much sense for me to keep streaming over there if I'm not really able to engage with people. So yeah, I think we're going to move forward, but, and here's the caveat. If we do this, we are going to move forward with pursuing bringing guests on. Probably not for the live, but because by bringing a guest on, I don't necessarily need to script out the show. It'll be more podcast style. If you've ever watched Joe Rogan or any of these other podcasts where they bring a guest on and just basically talk with them, I don't necessarily need to script something like that out. Maybe have a couple like interview questions ready if it gets quiet, but I don't have to script that out. And I don't necessarily need to do that live either. So yeah, I think we're going to push forward with starting to bring guests on, see what we can do there. But yeah, so I think that's going to be the move. And I'm not upset about it. This is a growing process, right? We're shifting. My thing is I don't want to shift too quickly, right? I think there's also a level of patience that comes with it. But I agree with what you said, Mom. I was thinking exactly that, quality over quantity. So up to 3,400 likes over there on TikTok. Thank you all for doing that. Appreciate it. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the shares. Right? We set up a live goal over there on TikTok. I know it was probably a little ambitious, but I've set it for 100. But for everybody who I've had come in, it's still showing 0 out of 100 for me. I don't know if it's supposed to go up. I mean, I've had people pop in here and chat with me a couple times, but it hasn't done anything. So I even said I was going to set a live goal. If we got 100 viewers, I was going to sing a song. I guess it's 100 viewers is what I assumed. Maybe it was, it said viewers when I clicked on it. I don't think it was like 100 followers. That would have been really ambitious to do that. Heck, I've been doing TikToks for a couple of years now, and I don't even think I have 300 followers on there. But I haven't been actively trying to get more. Let me click on this live goal button again real quick. I don't know. Maybe it was contributor. It said view. Maybe it's contributors. Maybe it's people who donate, or the roses or whatever. I could have sworn it said viewers. Oh well. We'll have to keep checking that one out. All right, so let's get into our final segment, and then we're going to jump back into another recurring topic. Right? I don't know if you all caught it. But we had, I know one of you caught it. We had, you think it's roses and coins? It might be. I thought it said viewers, but we brought Nova on. We're bringing over some of the segments that we used on, Brothers Chatter, not the smut talk, but more of the type of content. We did a Dear BBW advice column where, we had some viewers ask some questions about their hair issues, and myself and Nova gave some pretty good advice. I'm going to give more of the credit to Nova. She was pretty witty with it. But, yeah, let's get into our last part of the segment here as we kind of finish up this talk on the Keeps brand. Here's what no ad will tell you. Hair regrowth is a marathon, not a miracle. Results with Keeps or similar treatments typically take 3 to 6 months to begin. Full results, think 12 months, give or take. Miss a dose? It won't have the same effect as missing birth control, but if you're inconsistent with your medication, your results will be slower or none at all. Consistency is key. You're not just buying hair treatment, you're buying a lifestyle. Morning pill, twice a day topical solution, monthly auto renewals. Everything has a trade-off, even hairline redemption arcs. Both finasteride and minoxidil work only while you keep taking them. Once you stop, you'll start losing your hair like a tree loses its leaves in the fall. And here's the kicker. For some users, the side effects are deal breakers. Even rare risks like post-finasteride syndrome deserve honest discussion. Post-finasteride syndrome, or PFS, refers to a set of lingering side effects that some people report after stopping the medication. These symptoms can include sexual dysfunction, depression, anxiety, and brain fog. And in rare cases, they may persist long after the medication is discontinued. While PFS is still debated in the medical community, it's taken seriously by patients and researchers alike. So if KEEPS isn't your thing, don't worry. There are other methods out there. Platelet-rich plasma therapy, or PRP, is injected into the scalp. It's pricey, but highly effective. Hair transplants are also effective, but expensive as well. Think $4 to $15K, and requires downtime. There are laser helmets, which looks like something out of the movie Tron, which does have a mix of evidence on this treatment. Scalp micropigmentation, also known as tattooing your hair illusion. This is a long-term commitment. And lastly, toupees and wigs. Modern ones are actually pretty impressive. Just don't forget to anchor them in if you're dealing with high winds. So here's the bargain brand breakdown. Accessibility, 9 out of 10. Online, and only requires that you send in some pictures at the top of your head. Science-backed ingredients, 8 out of 10. Finasteride and minoxidil are FDA approved and backed by decent clinical data. Commitment factor, 6 out of 10. It's a long haul, not a quick fix. Side effects, 5 out of 10. Some get a few stray hairs back. Others get scalp irritation and existential questions about their libido. Value for your money, 7 out of 10. Cheaper than a transplant, way more expensive than doing nothing. Overall grade, B-. KEEPS isn't a miracle, it's maintenance. If you're ready to commit and understand the trade-offs, it's one of the more grounded options out there. So that's the official bargain brand breakdown of the hair loss treatment known as KEEPS. Whether you're here to rejuvenate your hairline or enjoy our weird brand of wellness, we appreciate you. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out some of our other videos. Here at Bargain Brand Wellness, we're not just off brand, we're on point. We did that thing. All right, Joey, I saw a bunch of your chats coming through. What did you say? Maybe I'll buy some for you next time. I don't have my card saved on my phone to buy it. 350 coins is $5. So you're going to sing a song for less than $2 donated to you? I don't know. The goal was set for 0 out of 100. I thought it was viewer. I mean, I'll sing a song. I can carry a tune there, bro. Don't get me at a karaoke party and get a little bit of tequila in me. Up to 5,400 likes over there on TikTok. Thanks for doing that, Joe DeBro. Appreciate you. Here's a nice little mirror check for some of our viewers. You can throw your comments in the chat. If you're watching this later, in our feed, feel free to drop a comment. When you look in the mirror, what's the first thing you fix and why? And is it out of habit or is it an insecurity? Think about that one. What is the most common thing when you look in the mirror that is the first thing you fix? And we all fix something. Very few of us, right, will walk in and be like, perfect. And walk right now. You're fixing something. Paul says his hair. What, your eyebrows? What's left of them? This is perfect, Paul. We're sitting here talking about hair loss, and I know you're one of them who's told me, Tim, just go bald, just do it. I just don't think I can make the commitment. Not yet. Maybe when I hit 50. Talk to me when I'm 50 and see what I got left on top of my head. You might have to convince me a little bit. Let's see. For me though, I mean, what's the first thing I check when I look in the mirror? Joey says I think I put my contacts in first. Yeah, so you can see, right? You gotta know what needs fixed. I tell you, for me, now I'm sitting here thinking I gotta be realistic on this. For me, it's my beard, right? I like having facial hair, but I am slightly insecure about how patchy and how not as thick the sides are. So I'd say that's kind of the first thing I look at when I walk in. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. I wish my whole beard was this thick, but I've had this for years. This, I don't know if I just need to trim it more or what. What about you, Mom? What's the first thing you look at? First thing you fix when you look in the mirror? You got a nice beard, Tim. Oh, stop it, Joey. Go ahead, say something else nice. It isn't a bad beard. It's not as thick over here. If you're liking the show, click the like, click the share, click the follow, or subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody who cares. They might like our comment. Mom says, you check your hair, what little I have. Yeah. Yeah, I think after facial hair, it's probably my hair on top of my head I check next. I'm pretty insecure about that as well. Like, I'm not as insecure now that I've grown it out, but I am still... We all have insecurities. We all have things about us that we don't like. As much as we tell ourselves to love ourselves, there's something about that we're just insecure about sometimes. Bite-sized wellness. Your hair isn't just dead cells. It's proof you've grown through things you can't even remember. Very true. Also, split ends aren't just overworked boundaries. Trim them with your self-care scissors and start fresh. That's your bite-sized wellness. You need to make some of that trail mix. It's good. It's good. And the thing is, there's no like specific recipe for that. I just kind of, when I'm at either Martin's or Walmart, I just kind of see what they have. You know, I like the nuts because it really does. I've been doing this for the last year and a half, 2 years. If I have an early enough dinner, you know, about this time, not quite this time, but about 8:30, I'll get a little bit hungry, and it's like, I don't really want to eat something that's not good for me. So I'll eat some trail mix. But Walmart has an indulgent blend that has the morsels that I use today, like the chocolate, peanut butter. And now the one they had also had the little white chocolate morsels in it. I didn't really need that. And so I just take a little bit, add to it. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of added sugar. Like I said in my video, I eat a relatively low sugar, low carb diet. That little bit of sugar I'm getting out of that doesn't really bother me. And it'll fill me up, and I won't want anything the rest of the evening. Now, I didn't have any tonight, but that's because we had a little bit of a late dinner. We had Martin's chicken, it was fresh. On point. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You can try different versions, you know, whatever it is you like. But and then I always add peanuts to it if it doesn't already have it, because peanuts are cheap. You can't beat that. Can't beat that either. All right, so before we get ready to roll out, we are going to play a slight little game. We're going to bring Nova in. We're going to play a little game, coming over from the Brothers Chatter. Smash or pass. But not necessarily in particular any certain individuals. Just their different hairstyles. So let me bring back Nova in and we'll start recording. I almost forgot to just turn her up. Let's pause the background music. turn Nova up. Welcome to our version of Smash or Pass on Bargain Brand Wellness, right? On this week's segment, we're going to smash or pass on different hairstyle trends. You ready to get into this, Nova?
Absolutely. Let's do it. I'm ready to rate these hairstyles and throw in some fun commentary. Let's see what's a smash hit and what's a definite pass.
All right, I love it. I love it. And for our audience members, go ahead and throw your comments here in the chat. Let's start with the man bun, holding back the last shred of dignity before they say, "Hey, I used to be in a band."
All right, the man bun. It's like the Swiss Army knife of hairstyles. Practical, a bit edgy, but definitely a love it or hate it situation. If you can rock it without looking like you're auditioning for a medieval drama, it's a smash. If not, well, maybe it's time to pass and let that hair flow free.
Yeah, I kind of had a man bun there for a little bit until my hair got longer. Now I can rock a full-on ponytail. But Joey over here says he's going to pass on it. I don't blame him. So does my mom. Agreed with that one. All right, the next one, the Karen Bob, because nothing says I'd like to speak to your manager more than curtain bang.
Oh, the infamous Karen Bob. That's a bold choice. It's like a hairstyle with built-in customer service demands. Personally, I'm gonna have to pass. But hey, if someone can rock it with confidence, more power to them.
Yeah, I think it's really going to come down to their personality. I'm not a big fan of that straight bang like that. I do not. I'll be honest. I don't think it's attractive on women. I think I don't know how else to say this without being mean. So I'm going to say I don't think it does justice to a woman's facial features. I really don't. I've seen some that are okay, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. And I think we all agree. Mom and Joey both say they pass on this one as well. Not a fan of bangs. I agree with Joey. All right. The next one, the mullet. It's the hairstyle equivalent of yelling America, yet not paying your taxes.
Haha, the mullet. Business in the front, party in the back. It's the ultimate wild card of hairstyles. Honestly, it's so outrageous it can circle back to being cool again. I'll give it a smash for sheer audacity and retro vibes, but only if you're ready to embrace the full mullet lifestyle.
I like it, Nova. Nova's giving the mullet a smash. I've seen some good mullets. I'm not gonna lie to you. And because I've been talking about cutting my hair, but I want to keep the back long, a lot of people have been talking about the mullet. I don't know about the one here in this picture, but yeah, I don't know. Mom says smash too. All right, I like it, Mom. What do you think, Joey? You smashing or passing on the mullet? I think.
Look,
I don't know. I think I might have to. I think I might have to smash on the mullet. I've seen some good mullets. I don't know if I could pull it off, but I've seen some guys who can.
hey, if you can rock it with confidence, that's half the battle. The mullet definitely has that bold, carefree vibe. And who knows, maybe you'll start a trend in your circle. If Mom's on board and Joey's warming up to it, you might just have a mullet moment in your future.
I might. Wait, we got to get Joey on board. Joey, I got to get you to grow your hair out a little bit, and we can be mullet brothers. All right. I think TikTok doesn't allow that word. Which one? I guess your chat didn't come through. That's what you get for using bad language words over there, Joseph. All right. Moving on. You typed it twice. Yeah, I didn't get anything over here. Moving on to the next one. Platinum blonde. Because sometimes your hair needs to scream as loud as your unresolved daddy issues.
Platinum blonde is definitely a statement. It's bold, bright, and not for the faint of heart, or the low maintenance. I'll say smash if you're ready for the upkeep and the spotlight. Just make sure you've got a good conditioner, because going platinum can be as high maintenance as a Hollywood diva.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think I'm going to say smash on this on the right skin tone. I'm going to say, yeah, on the right skin tone. If it looks, if you got too dark of a skin tone, I think it looks too fake, and I don't know if it complements it well. But I also, if you think too pale, then you look like you're albino. Not there's anything wrong with that, but I don't. Yeah, I think smash in certain areas. I'm gonna lean more towards smash on that one. Mom says pass. Well, I don't know what you're trying to type over there, Joey. I think you're trying to be too inappropriate over there. TikTok doesn't like that. What the heck?
Totally fair.
Yeah, it's not whatever you're typing, Joey. It's not coming through. Oh, is it you're typing smash and it's not letting it come through? That's funny.
Yeah, it looks like the platform might be filtering out certain words. Classic overprotective algorithms. But we get the sentiment. Platinum can be a bold and awesome choice under the right conditions. Thanks for the enthusiasm, Joey.
That's funny. It won't even let him type the word smash in there. That's a little ridiculous. TikTok needs they need to adjust their settings. We talked about it the one time. You ever seen the movie Interstellar where Matthew McConaughey's character can adjust like the humor and sarcasm dial on the robots? They need to do that with the TikTok algorithm because that's a little bit too far.
Absolutely. A little humor and context slider would go a long way in these algorithms. It's wild how something as harmless as smash gets caught in the filter. But hey, it gives us something to laugh about and a perfect example of how tech could use a little more human touch. TikTok, if you're listening, give us that sarcasm dial.
There you go. I like it. Joey says TikTok is too liberal. All right. Moving on to the next one. Frosted tips. Yep. Because I'm a douchebag who peaked in middle school.
Frosted Tips, the classic throwback to the early 2000s. It's got that boy band nostalgia written all over it. I'm gonna say pass, unless you're going for a full retro revival or starring in a Y2K themed party. It's a look that definitely had its moment, and maybe that moment should stay in the past.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely going to pass on that one, but I don't think Joey agrees with this. Joey's saying smash because he rocked it in elementary school.
Haha, well, if Joey rocked it back in the day, then he's got the street cred to smash it. Sometimes nostalgia gives a trend a second life. Who knows, maybe Frosted Tips will make a comeback and Joey will be ahead of the curve. But for now, we'll let that trend rest in its frosted glory.
Yeah, I definitely got to see some pictures of that one, Joey. You find some pictures of that one, I'll show you some pictures of mine. Listen, I'm not going to hate on you too much because, I also rocked the blonde hair, bleach blonde hair to go with Eminem when he was first coming out. I didn't have it buzz cut, but I had like a bowl cut for the center part where the top was blonde and the bottom was my natural color. I liked it. But yeah, probably just as bad as the frosted tip look.
We all had those iconic hair phases. The early 2000s were a wild time for hair experiments, and the bleach blonde Eminem look was definitely a cultural moment. It's all part of the style evolution, and hey, it gave us some great throwback pics to laugh about. Embrace the memories and the questionable hair choices. It's all part of the fun.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to the next one, the side buzz cut, typically rocked on females. The top is ready to give a TED talk. The side just keyed your car because you referred to a woman's time of the month because she's a little emotional.
The side buzz cut is such a fierce look. It's like the ultimate combo of edgy and sophisticated. I'm giving it a smash for anyone bold enough to pull it off. It's a power move that says, I can handle business and break norms all in one go. Plus, it's a great way to keep cool and look cool at the same time.
It's definitely got a look to it. Joey says a hard pass and Mom says definitely pass. I'm going to say pass, but I've seen a couple of women who, with the right look and the right figure, I've seen it look and I'm like, all right, not terrible. You throw a couple nice little tattoos in there. I've seen a couple. I'm like, okay, not bad. But overall, yeah, I'm gonna pass on the side buzz.
Totally fair. It's definitely a bold and specific style that's not for everyone. When it works, it really works, but it's definitely a look that needs the right vibe and confidence to pull off. Either way, it's awesome to see people rocking what makes them feel strong and unique.
All right. Let's get into the bowl cut. Basically says, I got grounded for something I didn't do, and this was the punishment.
Ah, the infamous bowl cut. It's got that I let my mom cut my hair with a mixing bowl vibe. I'm gonna have to pass on this one for sure. It's a tough look to pull off unless you're going for that ultra retro or ironic aesthetic. But hey, if someone can make the bowl cut look like a fashion statement, they deserve some serious props.
Yeah, I'm definitely passing on this one. I've seen some pretty rough looking bowl cuts where it basically looks just like you put a bowl on it. Joey says, hard one, but I'll have to pass. Mom says she's going to smash on this one. Mom likes the bowl cut. I like it. Got a mixed review.
Wow, a surprise smash for the bowl cut. It's definitely a unique choice. It just goes to show that every hairstyle has its fans and can work in the right context. Maybe the bowl cut is due for a renaissance. Stranger things have happened in fashion. Kudos to those who can make it work.
Oh, I'm sure it'll come back at some point. It's just a matter of when. If the mullet came back, the bowl cut will come back. What about the two-tone look? Basically, choosing only one color felt just a little too emotionally stable.
The two-tone look is such a fun and creative choice. It's like your hair is making a bold statement that you refuse to be put in a single box. I'll say smash for the sheer artistry and the confidence it takes to pull off two distinct colors. It's edgy, it's eye-catching, and it definitely keeps things interesting.
Yeah, this one, it's not that I don't like it, but I gotta check your tude, right? I know, I gotta see your character, the type of person you are, because that's gonna be the determining factor for me. Probably not your hair color. So I'm gonna give this one a smash, just because the hairstyle alone is not gonna be the reason that I would pass one. It's gonna be how you present yourself. Mom says depend on the colors. Yeah. I don't mind the pink and blue. That's not bad.
Pink and blue.
Joey says, I'm thinking pass. It's too much, and most women who rock it are liberal, entitled people.
Fair enough.
Go ahead,
Makes
Nova.
People can have all sorts of personalities behind it. At the end of the day, it's all about how someone carries themselves. Hair color is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's always fun to see how different styles resonate with different people.
All right. The next one. The pompadour. Hair that demands respect and forecasts a strong wind advisory.
The pompadour is a timeless classic. It's got that vintage flair and a whole lot of volume. Definitely a smash for those who can maintain the height and the swagger to match. It's a bold style that definitely stands out and commands attention. Just watch out for low ceilings and strong gusts of wind.
Yeah, I'm gonna say pass on this one too, Mom. There's nothing about that style that I'm going with. Joey says that's different. I'll say so. He's saying smash. Joey's taking that one. Yeah, I mean, maybe back in the 50s and early 60s, that was pretty popular. But yeah, I don't mess with that one. All right, and the last one, space buns. Perfect for when you want your hair to look like it's orbiting a red dwarf star.
Space buns are such a fun and playful style. They give off that quirky, carefree vibe and are perfect for festivals, casual outings, or just when you want to add a little whimsy to your day. I'd say smash for the sheer fun factor and versatility. Plus, who doesn't love a hairstyle that makes you feel a bit like a space adventurer?
I couldn't have said that better myself. Joey says smash. Yeah, I'm gonna say smash on this one as well, especially the young lady here in the photo. She looks very attractive. I think it works for her. It depends. Are we talking what you see here in this picture, or are we talking about the Princess Leia Cinnabuns on the side of the face? Right, that I'm gonna pass on. But what this girl's rocking, I dig that. I dig that.
I hear you. The space buns in that chic, modern style can look really cool and playful. It definitely adds a youthful and fun vibe. And yeah, it's a far cry from the Princess Leia Cinnabon look, more like a fresh festival-ready twist. Definitely a fun style for those who can rock it.
Mom, what's the question mark for? What, you just never heard of this one? Shoot. All right, thanks, Nova. So that is our segment on Smash or Pass. All right, catch the live for more fun content. All right, thanks, Nova. Never heard of it. I never heard of that one either, but hey, Nova helped us pick them out. So thanks, Nova, for joining here. I think we're going to call it a day for you. Say goodbye to everyone, or say goodnight to everyone, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for having me. Good night, everyone. Keep smashing those wellness goals and remember to stay curious. Talk to you all soon.
Nice. All right, let's get into our off-brand thought for the evening. We're getting close to 10 o'clock, but this is kind of what I was thinking. We might start a little bit earlier. If we are going to only stream once a week, we'll probably go closer to an hour and a half, just so we get more content. And plus, I had seen a couple things that said if you're going to go live, you should probably do at least 90 minutes. So that I'm cool with this. But let's get into our off-brand thought before we roll out of here. Thank you all for popping on here. Joey, you helped get us over 7,000 likes over there on TikTok. You're gonna pull a muscle in your finger. I think that's one of our higher like counts we've had in a while. Mom, thanks for popping on here and playing some games with us. I appreciate it. Since I think we are going to move towards one episode, I don't think we're going to go live. I'll put something on the Facebook page. I don't think we're going to go live tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see about Friday. If we don't do Friday, I'll put something. I'm going to kind of take the day to think about it. I'll put something on the Facebook group page tomorrow, whether we'll go live on Friday. We might skip Friday and we might just jump straight into Sunday. Give me time to write a nice quality episode for next week. But yeah, let's record this off-brand thought and get out of here for the evening. Let it grow or let it go. We spend so much time trying to hold on to what's leaving: hair, youth, relationships, free trial memberships, that we forget the power in surrender. What if losing your hair wasn't a sign of decline, but a signal? A chance to step into something new and more confident. Something that says, this is me. No filters, no follicles, just facts. Keeps might help you keep your hair, but don't let your worth grow only where the mirror says it should. Because at the end of the day, growing confidence is greater than growing your hair. Maybe it's time to go with the flow and let nature run its course. Until next time, stay rooted, stay thick, and most of all, make it worth your wellness. All right. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your evening. Joey, I'll see you at work tomorrow. Mom, I'll talk to you soon. Nothing else. I'll see you in church on Sunday. But yeah, love you guys. And I'll see you next time.